So I've got those uprights finished. They're just held into place at the minute before I drill them. I'm not going to drill them yet until I know exactly what I'm doing, so I'm just going to leave those there held into place with good old tie wraps, and they will be what holds the top wing. I've got the other one, I'm going to do that today, the V-shaped one, get that one done, and then we shall be able to get the top wing rigged. Quite how I do that I don't know again, but we'll have a look at it one bit at a time. And I've also been playing with something else. It wouldn't be a warplane without a way of defending itself, so I made myself, if I can find it over here, a replica of a Lewis, which will go on the top wing. I made this actually before I bought the kit. It's extremely lightweight, and it's sort of a vague representation of an early Lewis. It's got the single layer ammunition drum on the top, and extremely lightweight, made out of aluminium tube, and I bent thin aluminium for the stock there, riveted together, and give the representation of the armament on a Nieuport 11. So that's a toy, and I made it, of course I hadn't got the kit, so I guessed on the dimensions, going on seeing as though we're a 90% scale kit. I made it at 90% of the original scale, so I hope that's going to work all right, but it looks about right to me. And so just a little bit of fun for the finished article. That'll be some while, but of course I will have to work out the attachment points. I've got a front attachment bit there and a rear attachment bit just there on that bit, and those I can drill and bolt in on a tripod type stand to attach to the wing bracing. Yeah, a little bit of fun from before I got the kit, really. Well, that's what it's going to look like. You get a view of the struts above the fuselage. It's been a long, hard slog. They're not in place yet. I can't rivet them until they're actually in place, because I can't do that. Certainly that angled one only fits in when it's apart, when you can adjust it. So it's once it's in place, it's in place. It's all looking good. So they're just temporarily held in place, as you can see from the tie wraps and stuff. The plumb line down the centre is a tiny fraction off, but I think that's partially because the metal at the top isn't flat. That needs levelling off there, because that's just superficial, really, because the rear spar is going to fit in between it and then be bolted in between. So I think it's simply an adjustment of the actual top of the plate there. It is bent at the 14 degrees, which I'd got it all clecoed in place and then thought, oh, I haven't bent it, but yeah, all fits okay. It's got to be up drilled and riveted, but that has to be done in situ, so again I'm going to need a bit of a hand. So that's next job when I'm down, probably tomorrow, will be to get those bolted in place, riveted up, and I've just checked one thing which I hadn't checked, which was the distance from the tip of the wing here to the centre of the tail here, right on those hinges, and amazingly enough they are absolutely spot on to the millimetre from each end, so that means everything is as square as I'm going to get it, without a doubt. So that was a very pleasant surprise that we've got it exactly right, literally to the millimetre. So that was, I was a bit dubious as to how good it would be, but you can't get a lot better than that over that distance. And yeah, pleased with that as well. So another red letter day today. Got the top wings on. Been a bit of a strange day. I've made my first proper cock-up, and I'm going to have to buy some more parts. And it was one of those occasions where, shall I do this, shall I not, shall I do it? And I thought, no, that must be right. So I did it, and it wasn't right. So that has been somewhat counteracted. So the disappointment of that has been counteracted by the fact that I've got it all set up and everything fits absolutely perfectly. I am so happy, so thrilled that the damn thing fits in all within to the millimetre, pretty much. Everything's pretty much to the millimetre. So I shall show you where we are with that. It's a big moment because all those bits I've made starting to come together and it's looking cool. So I'll spin it round, show you how it is. So there we are, top wings on, bottom wings on, everything is rigged and squared up provisionally. Still got a lot to do. I've not riveted anything in place. My cock-up square on these bits here, I just cut them too short. I was gonna just do the bottom brackets and leave the top and cut them to size, which is exactly what I should have done, but I didn't. I cut them to the measurements on the plans and they're just not long enough. I'm going to have to buy 2 new struts, and I'll use the brackets that are on there. That's not a problem, and they won't take much making because the brackets are already drilled and everything, but I'll have to wait and get the struts. But as you can see up there, we've got the plumb line. Oh, I've moved things around a little bit actually, but so when we get it set up, the plumb line was spot on there. It's moved off a bit because I've had to move my my brackets a touch, but everything's rigged up and fits fine. Looks good. Put those tangs on the wrong side. I've got to take them off tomorrow and put them on the right side. Don't know how I did that one, but yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'll just show you it from this angle. And we have a biplane. So I do need to tighten up some bits, change a few little bits and make those 2 front struts. So I'm casing myself for that, but with everything coming together literally to the millimetre when it's all tightened up properly, I am so thrilled with that. It's cool, really cool. So yeah, good day today, really good day. One caveat, and that was my stupidity and indecision really, but there we go, looking like a biplane. Not just a plane, it's looking like a biplane. I'm in the process of sorting out my cock-up, redoing the forward struts. These are the new ones, a lot longer, and I have measured correctly and sorted out hopefully. Just drilled out the first of the brackets from the old ones. Those just need tidying up a little bit, and I shall put those brackets on the new ones. So and then we can get to the rigging of the aircraft. So that's coming on. I know I've whinged a bit about the plans for this, but to be honest, it's built an absolutely perfect aeroplane. I may have had a little bit to do with that, but just measuring up the wing tips and the incidents and all the rest of that, and over the distances from the tip of the bottom wing and the tip of the lower wing and the tip of the top wing, to the centre of the tail fin, and they are to within a millimetre. So I might have not been able to find some of the bits on the plans very easily, and they're a little bit haphazard, but it was the same with the Sonex plans when I built it. I guess they had everything on blueprint type plans, and the information was all there, but it was easy to miss because there was so much of it. So, you know, I'm maybe feeling a bit bad about whinging about the plans, you know, for my own inadequacies, I guess. So, yep, grumpy old Yorkshireman, what can I say? I picked up these pieces from Paul, Grass Strip Aviation, the owner of Grass Strip Aviation. Luckily, he lives just across the river from me, and went out, had a cup of tea and a bit of a meal, and swapped over these bits, and he's giving great support, I must admit. So if anybody's interested in buying one of these kits, Grass Strip Aviation in the UK, Paul is extremely helpful. Nothing's too much trouble. He's a very busy man, but he came out of his way, and for the price of an orange juice and a fish and chips, he replaced the struts for me. So that was a bargain in my book. And thanks very much, Paul. Much appreciate all your help. And I'll get back on with doing this, and I'll show you the newly finished struts. Old full cock-up sorted. Got the struts on. We're all level. The bubbles in the right place all along. I've set the angle of the upper wing, measured up tail to tip, both wings, both absolutely spot on. So my criticism of the plans, totally undeserved. It's built a perfectly straight aeroplane. Got to drill a lot of serious holes, which will be my next job tomorrow. And I've got to cut these V struts to length. As you can see, they're still not cut to size, but I'll double check all my levels and everything again before I do that. And yeah, taking a day to sort out my error, but that's not a problem. I've got days, so hopefully tomorrow we shall have those V struts cut to size, and if the day goes well, possibly even start some rigging wires, some flying wires and some landing wires. As you know, swaging wires is not my favourite job, but got to be done, and if I work smart, should be okay. So that's it for today. So I thought I'd video doing my least favourite job, swaging flying cables. Not something I've got an affinity for, I don't think. It's easier like this, because the vice works as a third pair of hands, or a third hand, but this bit's, say, not too bad. I don't mind this bit because I've got the vice to hold this in. It's when you put the other end on the aeroplane and you've got nothing. nothing but the trying to keep the cable tight with one hand and tighten these up with the other is really not my favourite job. We do 3 compresses on each swage, on each decompress sleeve. These have got to take a lot of strain. These are pretty much what holds the wings on the aeroplane, really, so they need to be right. And after a crash course by Andy, giving me some helpful advice on how it should be done, hopefully I've learnt. And we've got the nice compression on the swages, and if I can get it neat as well, that will help immensely. My arms like Popeye when I finish this. Somehow I don't think so. But hopefully I should see 3 nice compressions on the sleeve. And that is the, you can see that there's the 3 compressions on the sleeve. The eye is nicely in. That's a nice one, that one. Pleased with that one. The other side of it's a lot harder, so we'll go for that next. So I'm going to try and film this, putting this one on. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. We'll give it a shot. First of all, we need to cut the cable. Marked it with a piece of tape, so I know pretty much where to cut it. Sleeve goes on. This needs to go. The eye needs to go through that. Yeah, if I could find what I've done with my pliers. Goes through. And a cock up of that. Now I've started the camera rolling. Ain't that the way? Cable through the sleeve. What I've been doing is crimping it with the mole grips on the end, because again that end is going to get sawn off with the Dremel. Pull it as tight as I can as a starter. To get the swaging tool on it, and I also want to protect the. I'm just going to put that on there to try and protect the piping, because this has got square edges on the steel, and they can easily dig into the aluminium. So I just put a bit of just a duster over the top of it there, just to try and keep any scratching down to minimum. On they are spars after all, don't want any little stress risers in the spars. So, as you can see, it's a very different operation, having to use 3 hands. Now I need to be able to pull the cable tight while tightening up the bolts. There might be some swearing. Seems one of those jobs that I can't do without copious amounts of swearing. So I apologise in advance if I do. Just get it to bite. I can pull it so as tight as possible. There's only a limited amount of adjustment on the turnbuckle. The first one I did left the recommended 2 threads showing, but that really wasn't enough adjustment. I might, if I've got enough cable, which I doubt very much, I might try and do that one again. Now I know what I'm doing. It's typical. The first one's always the one you learn on, isn't it? Right, I think that's just got it. So I can flip my mole grips off. So I don't know how visible this is. I'll see in the edit, I guess. No swearing. Good job. Proper job. I'll move it to the second one. Actually, this one's been a bit easier because I've had this upright on the fuselage to rest the swaging tool against, which I've not had before, and it's worked as a lever. So you've seen the easy version. If you can see any of it, of course. I'm working up a sweat. It's quite a warm day, and this is surprisingly hard work. It's the second compression done. Compression number 3 coming up. We'll see what a mess I've made of it. Another problem is I can't see what the hell I'm doing. Surprised if this ratchet lasts the full rig. It's taken a lot of strain. How well did I do on that one? Yeah, it's a bit too far. I'm just going to shove a 4th one on there. Yeah, that's alright, that's not bad. So that's that on. So the flying wires are all on, all in place. 4 on this wing. I did replace this front one, the first one I did. I hopefully got enough cable to do the extra bits with the piece I've taken off. I've got a couple of meters, and I've got 2 more meters, which should be enough to do this centre section here, especially with the turnbuckles in place. But I haven't, as the turnbuckles haven't come yet, I'm going to call it a day today. So that's all those flying wires done. I'm not going to take the supports out until I've got the 4 middle flying wires in this box section, and then everything should hopefully be able to support itself, and we shall, with a bit of luck, be able to see it supporting its own wings. So that's the next move. Then the wings have got to come off, and the ribs, got to build the ribs and put the ribs on the frames, on the spars. So that's it for today. Successful day, quite stressful day today doing that, but pleased with the results. They all look good. Enough now. There's enough movement on all of the turnbuckles. Not too much, not too little, just about right, I think. So should be able to get all those wires tightened up.